Okay. Yes, it is. All right. Welcome, everyone. As I mentioned, my name is Jose Aragus, and I'm the editor-in-chief of Salamander. And I'm excited to have you here to celebrate Salamander's annual Louisa Solano Memorial Emerging Poet Award winner. Our winner this year is Jabaily-Blackburn. And our judge this year was Stephanie Burt, and we're going to hear poems from them today. We'll start with Stephanie Burt in a second, and then we'll finish up with Jen. But I did want to say something about the award itself, just to give a background. So Salamander's annual Louisa Solano Memorial Emerging Poet Award is generously funded by Suffolk University's Ellen LaForge Memorial Poetry Fund. This award is given retroactively to a poet who has not published more than one full-length poetry collection at the time of their publication in Salamander. This award is named in honor of Louisa Solano, former owner of Cambridge's Grolier Poetry Bookshop and a champion of poets and literary magazines. And I find it, excuse me, very meaningful to um, have that um, kind of energy, because this award came into fruition when I started here. So to have that energy kind of mark the beginning really meant a lot. And so I'm glad that we're making it something special. And I'm excited to share it with you all tonight. So as I mentioned, Stephanie Burt will read first, and I will now introduce them. Stephanie Burt is a poet and literary critic, as well as the Donald and Catherine Locher Professor of English at Harvard. Her numerous published books include critical books on poetry and for poetry collections. Her essay collection, Close Calls with Nonsense, from Grey Wolf Press, 2009, was a finalist for the National Book Critics Circle Award. The poems in her most recent collection, We Are Mermaids, also from Grey Wolf, was described by Madeline Wattenberg for the Georgia Review as, quote, oriented toward a queer futurity's potential. These poems rarely land in certainty. Burt reminds us that the surface reflects to the observer just one story, one script, and when we dip below what initially appears, we meet numerous realms and ways of being as mysterious and lovely as the unknown that flourishes on the ocean floor. To add to that, I think that's a lovely thing Wanberg's saying. But to add to that, I'd like to share the last section of one of Bert's poems. She's got a poem called Inside Outside Stephanie, and this is how it ends. Oh, grapefruit, as color and flavor. Oh, never quite rightly tied laces. Oh, look, up there on the uneven climbing bars, too hot to touch where the sun touches, now that it's spring. The shadow of a tarp, like a sail between sailors, and thin swings that make no decision, like weather vanes. Oh, think of the lost Chuck Taylors, the lost Mary Janes. I cite these lines specifically as an example of the distinct mix of pathos and hope that runs throughout Burt's work. The line that I just read to you, thin swings that make no decision, like weather vanes, that line alone is up there for me as a model for the way an image can come together with emotional resonance. So with all that said, please join me in welcoming Stephanie Burt to the virtual stage.
Hi, am I on the virtual stage?
Not yet,
Am I
unfortunately.
am
I
I on the
gotta
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay.
uh, actually start talking again because maybe that'll pop you up
Okay.
on my screen.
Hi there.
There you are.
I'm saying words. I'm using a series of words, and I'm honored to see that Katie Wilson is doing what I take to
You
be
are on the
ASL.
virtual stage.
Yeah, ASL interpretation. Thank you for interpreting. That's really cool. I wish I knew ASL someday. Um, So I'm gonna read for 12 minutes plus a couple more if you want that. Is that right? Is that right, Jose?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Good to
So
go.
I thought I would read some poems I haven't read for a while that maybe I've been working on for a couple of years and that might be ready to go out, and some that are maybe newer. If there's something you want to hear and you've read my books, let me know and we'll see what we can do. But this is about the most famous church in Iceland, which is quite new. It was built after Iceland sort of started to become a prosperous country after the Second World War, and it was built as a kind of homage to the Icelandic future. So I tried to describe the church, and also as someone who was raised Jewish and has friends for whom Christianity means a lot, to think about why people become and remain committed Christians or committed pagans. And the church is called Hallgrímskirkja, which just means Hallgrím's church. Hallgrímskirkja. One, mid-century optimist's sense of a jet plane. Two, a one-way ride to the nearly discredited future. Three, a pipe organ, the bones or lines thereof. Four, riser, platform, and ramps for some dance competition. It's first. Five, we work with local materials, i.e., concrete. Six, seeing my old ID, the hotel clerk told me, don't worry, you're in the right country. Seven, the parallel piping on her uniform. Eight, most people are not good or evil. That's why I need Jesus. Nine, 97% of Icelanders believe in at least one God. 10, thumb-sized medieval icon, Christ or Thor. 11, notwithstanding the car-smashing winds and the glass-freezing rain. 12, humans unaided could never climb up the outside. 13, our Lord is risen, the many are one. And I'm realizing I can show you a picture of the church the poem is about, if you would like to enable screen sharing. Jose, is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Let's find out. Let's
Okay.
see. Um, let me. Okay, go for it.
Okay, let me see if I can get that image. Um, and that is not the droid I'm looking for. Um, okay, we're gonna screen share. We're gonna make it happen. Um, share. Uh, so this is the church that the poem is about. And are you are you seeing it?
Yes.
It really does look like someone was thinking about jet planes, and it's really beautiful and extremely modern. And if you're ever in Reykjavik, okay, want to move on? Let's move on.
Oh yeah, no, that's really intense. I'm just gonna pop in to say that. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, Reykjavik's cool. Okay, read a few more poems. Horoscope. And this is about a vacation that we took during the pandemic. The goats we named, of course, for teenage superheroes couldn't control themselves. Roberto, his nose raised, wet, protruding between the slats of the bulging, aging fence, just wanted to eat his fill. All Capricorns are stubborn, addicted to following rules. Danny would rein him in, or would have if she could, but she wore a collar herself, stitched red, orange, and a faded copper to match her ears. Aquarius carries water for all her friends. You can trust her. Sam, the tallest by far, white blonde around the horns, with an asymmetrical smile, kept his chin so far up he couldn't help butting heads, the way goats do, with the posts or with the heels of our hands extended to feed him oats. Scorpio won't be tamed and always tells the truth. Ilyana, the smallest, held back. The black and white ovals laid out across her bony back were armor, were bold star signs in which no one believed. No one except for her. You too, they seemed to say, will trust your horoscope until it brings bad news. Outside, far, far outside, we had masks, but no vaccine, and nowhere we wanted to go. Flat clouds slid overhead, delivering welcome shade to Lambertville, Belvedere, the Delaware Water Gap. We gave the other three, who stuck together, treats like bits of cheese, French fries, and bread with mayonnaise brought out in a plastic urn. Ilyana chewed her blade of bottle brush grass and watched us gather at the fence, forever almost ready to take her turn. Yeah, I might cut a few lines out of that one. So, I don't know. I think this one's done. If you're not trans, you may not know this. If you are trans and you haven't done a lot of flying in the past, 10 years, you also may not know this. But until early this year, the TSA scanning machines were calibrated for boy or girl, and if your body didn't match the boy body or the girl body that they expected, or the TSA agent pushed the wrong gender button, then they would have to feel you up. And they've actually fixed this. But for about 8 years, whenever I flew through Logan Airport, I would have to let a TSA agent feel me up. And it's Boston, and trans people fly all the time in Boston. So it was never really a problem. But when I went to Memphis, where I think there are just fewer trans people, um, I was the first trans person who a new TSA agent had ever scanned, and this is for her. For the new TSA agent at Memphis International Airport. You don't know my name. Your badge could be a platinum watch fob. I would no more avoid you than jump a New York City turnstile or steal. It's all part of your job. Maybe you needed the job. You've been hired to feel me up, as it were, to confirm that I'm hiding nothing, that I'm real. I've come to expect your powder blue nitrile covered palm along my bits and to take it from the back of your I won't flinch if you don't gloved hand. To you, it's all new. Perhaps 10 minutes later, I explain my existence twice over to you, then to your supervisor, who looks at both of us and waves me through. Couple more?
Well, actually, I think we got time for one more. And
Okay.
we did have a request in the chat from Jen, either hobbies or what's the other one? Oh, there's the chat. Hobbies or at the Parkway Deli. So whichever one you're feeling.
Um, do I have a poem called Poppies?
Oh no, hobbies. Like
Oh, that one's
yeah,
long. So
yeah.
why don't I read at the Parkway Deli instead?
All
Okay.
right.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to look that up because it wasn't in the sheet that I sent you. Um, but I am gonna be able to read that to you as soon as I bring it up. Thank you. I'm so glad you like hobbies. Um, it's really something that uh it's a poem that it took me, a while to finish and to place, and it's somewhat of an homage to the work of Monica Yoon, who I think you've published. Anyway, this is not hobbies. This is at the Parkway Deli. You can know what you need before you know why. For example, 10-year-old me who leans on the empty cold salad bar cart along the cold wall of the crowded dining room at the best Jewish deli, supposedly, though they're not kosher, south of Manhattan. Families have to wait to be seated inside. I'm waiting for noon when the cart becomes the world famous pick your own pickle bar. World famous, meaning I wouldn't stop telling my dad how much I liked it. Green sour tomatoes that pop whenever you cut or bite into them, intricate as a satellite inside. Sauerkraut in 3 colors, like some nation's flag left outdoors in a storm and shredded. Maroon, not quite white, and pale emerald green. Half sours and dills, sliced lengthwise like canoes, curled up at their tips like canoes. Banana peppers the shape of your tongue if you stick your tongue out, that also burn your tongue. And jade discs with peppercorns, sugary like tart candy, yet not dessert, and good for you. How many years till I found out why trans girls and women crave salt? Coming out makes your blood pressure go down. So do spironolactone and other similar shots and pills with jawbreaker names. I wanted to change me. I would tell no one. I would stand outside until I was 41, waiting to be let in. You can know what you need before you know why. Shredded cabbage and mini cukes and sodium ions in water and vine-ripe tomatoes preserved in mustard seeds, coriander, allspice, and vinegar for no one knows how long. Thank you
Well, that
for
was
the
lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do we need to make time for Jen, or do you want one more from me, or how does this work?
Let's go ahead and transition actually, because I've got an intro as well. But that was
I,
lovely.
very happy to support people who want to transition. Let's make that happen. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna mute myself now.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you again, Stephanie. My partner's actually just started pickling. So all that vinegar talk just now, I'm like, yep, that's familiar. All right. So now I'm going to introduce Jen Jabaily-Blackburn, and I'd like to start by reading Stephanie Burt's citation, um, which we published, I think, in the last issue, I believe. So here's what Stephanie Burt had to say. This world can become hard to bear. We may feel our cupboards are bare or fear bearing our souls. We may find it full of headaches and turn to bear, or feel less bear than wolf, incessant bayers at absent moons like Callisto, Saturn's satellite, once taken for a potential harbor of extraterrestrial life. Its heavily cratered layers of water, ice, the color of beer. I'm riffing and playing with sound here rather than addressing the embodied unease, the shakiness, and the hunger that Jen Jabaily-Blackburn's poems embody. Because the body is just a subject, so are intimacy and girlhood, charisma and lust, and a need for connection and fear. Anybody with a body can take on a subject. Jabaily-Blackburn has a style, a way to bring language into the space we share, a language that sounds like nobody else's yet, a play of words that renders memorable her serious cares. It's not just a body, but a body of work I plan to follow close. And it starts right here. And I just love all of that. And I think it very much speaks right to a lot of Jen's work. So one thing I want to share as part of this introduction is part of being selected for this award includes not only this reading, but a virtual class visit with our poetry workshop students here at Suffolk University. We had this visit on Monday, and it was delightful. Jen shared with us a number of insights behind the poems, including the poetry portfolio Disambiguation, which will be available on the Salamander site, and I'll drop the file in the chat in a second as well. During our conversation on Monday, one student spoke to how valuable the experience of hearing a poet not only read their poem, but also give context and background to it is for a young poet starting out. It was just one of those moments where something clicked. And I wholeheartedly agree with what the student said, the sentiment, and I'm grateful to Jen for hanging out with us. Jen Jabaily-Blackburn's first book of poems, Girl in a Bear Suit, was selected by Christopher Citro as winner of the 2023 Elixir Press Annual Poetry Prize. Her recent work has appeared in or is coming soon from Arkansas International, Palette Poetry, Fugue, Banshee, On the Seawall, and Couplet Poetry, and her poems have twice been selected for Best New Poets. She is at work on a series of mixed media blackout poems, him drawn from Ovid's Metamorphoses. And I believe you've shared these on your Instagram account. And so like, yeah, they're something to see. So definitely look those on. Originally from the Boston area, she now lives in Western Massachusetts with her family. In 2024, she joined the advisory board of Perugia Press, and she is an associate editor with Nine Syllables Press, housed at Smith College, where she is the program and outreach coordinator for the Boutilde Poetry Center. So yeah, please join me in welcoming Jen Jabaily-Blackburn to the virtual stage.
Okay. Am I unmuted and visible? Awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and keep my patter to a minimum, but before I actually get started, I just want to thank Jose and his class because it was such a fantastic experience visiting with you. And Stephanie for picking these poems. I just cannot get over that citation. It was so beautiful. And Katie, thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. I really appreciate it. So this first poem is Love Poem for Seven Starlings, after Rinko Kawauchi's Seeing Shadow. Look, I'll say it before we get started. Time to settle your side bets. A murmuration. It is called a murmuration of starlings. Concerning starlings, most information is practical, backyard birder level, and most often concerns not starlings, as in how to feed grackles, but not starlings, how to feed sparrows, but not starlings. A hierarchy emerges. Even among the nuisance birds, one must be the least wanted. Even so, its geometry is captivating, like watching someone calmly untangling handfuls of string, an out-of-focus cascade like shook-out silk over a mirroring wave. On the bird internet, we'd 100% be considered nuisance mammals. Once, Mary Oliver famously wrote, "You simply can't imagine how they do it." But I can. We can. They've done the science. You can break murmurations into parties of seven. Suddenly, the unearthly high mind of it, the vast I am locutus of Borg of it, contracts to a molecular level of large parties in a Times Square lunch rush. These are my nearest starlings. Mom, Greg, Dad, Susie, Piglet. So there's a space left. For what? Exactly. It's unsettling to live outside the exactly gate. How will I know the true form of my last starling? Maybe it's poem space. Maybe it's you. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Sometimes I am a super child and only have space for 6 discrete forms of mom. Current mom, historical mom, pre-mom, ode to peak mom, nano mom, post mom. The word mom itself now jumbled, its shape just a head and knuckles pulling up on a lake dock a way I've never seen her do. My point on the mom continuum demands being honestly in love with a nuisance world. Can this still be a love poem if it lacks a defined interest? If everything interesting demands an attention that isn't just like love, but is an exacting, unoptional love? Can it be a love poem if I have to admit I'll need mom to hoist out of this black lake before me? That I will need my own beautiful piglet to watch me go? Yes, there is a correct order. So if pressed, one could divine a mathematically optimal best day to go. the least potentially painful. Listen, when I work it out, I will buy us all dresses. The next piece is the many exciting possibilities of metamorphosis. This is a sort of lead-in to the Callisto poems. I won't go too deep into it, but Callisto is a figure from Ovid's Metamorphoses. I just am fascinated with her, and she became the core of what became my book. So this was the many exciting possibilities of metamorphosis. Not all rocks are rocks. Some are observed to cry, but never know it. Some cry reverberant with lost children. Some rivers disappear underground and reappear somewhere safer. Some flood out of pure panic. If you find you are now a tree, may you be a tree where no one has ever known you. May they not harvest your limbs. May you never be one. Maybe you'll be granted long life, then held in the after by your best other's branches. May you become a wild thing and not remember the idea of hunter before his arrow has gone and translated you to stars. May you rest under a dome of snow in dreamless sleep. No clock, but the sense the air is full again. No blank, cold scent of ozone. You could become a boring gray bird who gets 3 odd more winters, or a bird who makes boring birds struggle in her beak. Maybe one night, you'll go to sleep by a can of springwork snakes and wake up a mass of live snakes decorating the head of a creature who's never existed before or since. May you then make your own creature who doesn't look a bit like you, a creature in need of 2 saddles, the solid first to hold a rider, the other a mother's invisible wish to fly. May you serve yourself in this new life. So I'm going to read 2 or 3, depending on our time, Callisto poems from that series. 2 of them, Disambiguation and Callisto and the Mad Honey, were the poems that appeared in Salamander, and I am so grateful that they landed there. It's been really wonderful. So this is actually the title of the portfolio, Disambiguation. So I hope you'll take a look. Some of these poems are there and some other ones are. Callisto, Disambiguation. Callisto may refer to a dead moon or a girl in a bear suit. Girl in a bear suit may refer to itself and its reverse, a recursion of bears and girls trading wardrobes. Or is itself a dead moon? Dead moon may refer to goth makeup that never suited, but wore anyway to show I meant business. I did not mean business, but loved to stress my most terrible features, eyes and lips sharp as snakes. Apparently, a cruise is the least stressful form of vacation if the sample is restricted to those likely to go on cruises. If there is water on Callisto, and she is not actually dead, there is no possibility of a cruise. The water, if present, may in fact be a nest. And this is Callisto and the Mad Honey. I had so much fun talking about this one with Jose's class. I feel like I cannot help writing in a like deeply referential, like bouncy, connections everywhere kind of style. So I know there's a lot just coming at you fast in this poem. I hope you enjoy. Callisto and the Mad Honey. Last night, I dreamt I went to Dairy Queen again. I went to the grocery store and stress ate fistfuls of Cavolo Nero, and no one so much as looked at me. I melted in a bath of sheer proximity, felt the warmth of a crowd like dough coming together, the glutinous matrix of a world in making. I felt entirely osmosed and molecular. Last night, I dreamt I held a dear friend in a steam bath. He would hate this, but just like an Italian painting of Jesus, everything felt guilt and serious. A giotto with lines of red spider silk renovating a holy man's heart. Except just between us, I was embarrassed by the intimacy, but my lips direct to God. Last night, I dreamt a man in a broad-brimmed hat hemmed me into his chest, then settled my body, alone, into a sun-warm bed of a pickup truck, where lazy clouds disassembled overhead and reformed into a Georgian riviere of citrines and gold. What can I say, except everybody's living in a material lair, and last night, I swear, I dreamt I was only a girl again, who went type, type, type about her moods in the cold, high garret of her skull. Just one small, endless coal and a mouse in a teapot for company. Irregular as ever, a wave in confused sea, ending in a gentle, icy curl. So yeah, I absolutely ripped off Rebecca for the first line of that poem, if you were wondering, and I'm not sorry. Do I have time, Jose, for two more?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay, great. So this next one is a little bit longer, and then the one after is a bit shorter. Oh, Stephanie, thank you about the ending. Thank you so much. This is Callisto Tantrums. Sometimes I forget we're the both of us now and wonder, what's her today like? What's the agenda? A stiff wool skirt, I bet, teething on her waist, and her going, I can eat soup all winter, and black coffee, the winter of soup and black coffee. Now she's going, no, I wouldn't say that, yelling from the basement, knocking to the roof of me. She would have said that and knows it, but probably nothing special. Just the usual home away and home again, brass globes tumbling after each other on a glass-domed clock. Almost by reflex, she saw one of these clocks on hearing or reading the music of the spheres, like divinity made visible and compact, like a cosmic reliquary, so orderly, so almost affordable. Oh, can you imagine the both of us back there? It'd be a circus act just to run errands. Imagine us reassembling a pyramid of plums, thumping cantaloupes. What? She's saying. Who misses errands? Imagine her trying to make us wait under the fluorescents because it's what you do. She remembers the impatience always fizzing off of her like a bottle wrenched open. The act of waiting, in retrospect, is hilarious. The herky-jerky procedure, you go, no, you go, no, you. Sometimes misfiring, crashing together like cymbals, then peeling back in the noise. Always allowing other passengers to disembark before embarking. The bad felt like little lords. The good rewarded with a half hour of elbows in the belly, in the breast. It's not easy trying to get her to throw off all her good, but we'd get a wide berth now, I bet. A private city inside the city. We could crack the windows on the jeweler's building, do the bewilderment thing, and exit swimming in emeralds. A brass clock, wait, a gold clock, tucked in the fold under every arm. one in the mouth. Why not? She's kicking me now. Like, no, we do not do that. Her tantrums are so light and adorable, so manageable when you know where they'll poke up their heads. Like if you know Wednesday morning she'll bang on the piano, Tuesday cut the strings. So the last piece is gonna have to stop saying it's an unpublished piece because it's in the portfolio. This is amazing. So this is one that came out, or I've been reading it after the release of the book. It's something that I just have had a lot of fun reading, and it's usually a fun piece to close out a reading on. So this is Mommy Hotel. Mommy Hotel is a hotel, not a motel, but it may look like one. It is right next to the sea. It is not an express. It is not a by Marriott. There are no beeping breakfast machines in the lobby. There is no lobby. Mommies do not have to pay for Mommy Hotel. It is paid in full by a Cool Aunt Energy Foundation. No one needs to apply. It's basically a MacArthur for mommies where someone puts your name in, then one day in the future you get a call saying, "Hey girl, it's Mommy Hotel. Welcome." The selection process is opaque, but the one thing you know is you do not have to be good. It says as much right on your mug. Once a day, your loved ones drive by in red parade cars, waving. They never say miss you. No, it's always a sunny see you soon. The staff is so well paid by Big Cool Aunt. The mommies all say thank you for everything, every time, but neatly in a way that considers the recipient's feelings. There's an office with everything you need. Your projects can go in a cupboard by the door. Someone will launder your also no tote bag. Go ahead, sneeze. You can pee on anything. You can ask for a shiny puce loner liver at the desk like you might a toothbrush. There's the sea right there, but no pressure. If you want to just watch it to an erratic party of wind chimes, okay. You can go in if you want, but do whatever. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's throw up some reactions for both our readers. Let's see. Put my little, they're my hands. Boom. And I think I have a heart too. I hope I have a heart. Many hearts. All right. And Stephanie Burt is sharing, so good. A fun fact is that something like this, like the Mommy Hotel, actually exists. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna have to check that out. That is awesome. One quick thing. Thank you so much again to our readers. Thank you, everybody who came. I'm going to share this Jen's email again because currently the best way to get a copy of her book is to email her directly. So there's that. And also we have Jen's chapbook on our website. So please go ahead and check that out. Information in the chat. And yeah, I think last thing, official thing I gotta say is we are open, for reading. So please send us your work. We love reading it and getting to engage with y'all. Thank you again for taking the time to be here. Have a good evening.